Call the meeting of January 14, 2019 order. Please stand for the pledge of the flag. I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, quickly we'll have an introduction of our department heads. To my far right, Jim Henshaw, our Senior Center Director. Next to him, Todd Schaefer, our Park Supervisor. Our Fire Chief, Andy Frost. Next to him, Bob Gatlett, our Police Chief. Our Zoning Inspector, Darren Crivelli. To my right, Mike Dockery, Township Administrator. To my immediate right, Ken Carano, Trustee. To my left, Doug McGlynn, Trustee. Our favorite Fiscal Officer, Laura Wolf, and I am Jim Davis, Trustee. We'd ask for a motion to recess to executive session for the following.
No.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Lori takes over now.
At this time, we'd ask Fiscal Officer Laura Wolf to continue the meeting as Chairman Pro Tem.
Okay, so take roll now.
Yes.
Yes.
Mr. Crano?
Here.
Mr. Davis?
Here.
Mr. McGlynn?
Here.
Okay, at this point, I need to ask for nominations for chairman for the board for 2019.
I nominate Ken Carano for the 2019 Chairman.
Mr. Davis?
Yes.
Mr. McGlynn?
Yes.
Mr. Crano?
Yes.
And then I need to take nominations for vice chairman for 2019.
I would like to nominate Doug McGlynn as Vice Chairman for 2019.
Second?
Mr. Crano?
Yes.
Mr. Davis?
Yes.
Mr. McGlynn?
Yes.
And then I need a motion to set the regular meeting dates for 2019. Same as last year. Second Monday at 6 at Town Hall and the fourth Monday at 3:30 at Town Hall.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Crano?
Yes.
Mr. Davis?
Yes.
Mr. McGlynn?
Yes.
Okay, do I adjourn or
Yes.
turn it over?
No, you recess. So you adjourn the organizational and turn it over to start the regular meeting.
Okay. Motion to adjourn and turn the meeting over to the chairman.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Davis?
Yes.
Mr. Crano?
Yes.
Mr. McGlynn?
Yes.
Is this the first time I said that, Steve?
I think so.
Yeah, that was,
This might be the first time in 10 years.
this chair's cold.
So dull.
The chair will entertain
Please
a
don't
motion to
listen to
fire
smack
off
Crivelli.
the department chair. Is that next on the agenda?
Yeah.
Okay. Look at it. All right, there you go. Let's get all this stuff out of the way then. Okay, the chair will entertain a motion to approve the minutes of the meeting of December 27th, 2018.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Crano?
Yes.
Mr. McGlynn?
Yes.
Mr. Davis?
Yes.
You have the introductions of all the people here. Let's move on to the administrator's report. Michael?
I have nothing under administrator or road department business, but you can call on me under C for new business.
All right. So we hold off listening to hear golden tonsils until then. Chief Cavalier, Police Department?
I have nothing to report, nothing to add to the report.
Thank you. Chief Frost?
There's 4 motions there that I need to, just housekeeping for the beginning of the year, just the ability for me to sign and to be the representative for the township. So if you could just entertain those motions, please.
Do we have to do each individually?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Motion to appoint Chief Frost, the township representative for the Mahoney County Hazmat Executive Board. So,
Second.
Mr. Davis?
Yes.
Mr. Crano?
Yes.
Mr. McGlynn?
yes. Motion to continue mutual aid agreement with Youngstown Air Base and its fire department. So moved. Second.
Mr. Cornell?
Yes.
Mr. Davis?
Yes.
Mr. McGlynn?
Motion to authorize Chief Frost to sign non-monetary mutual aid contracts, and that's something different, non-monetary, as they are presented throughout the year.
So second.
Mr. McGlynn?
Yes.
Mr. Cornell?
Yes.
Mr. Davis?
Yes.
A motion to continue mutual aid agreement with the Mahoning County Hazmat Team. The contract includes a 10-cent per capita fee not to exceed $4,000. The Mahoning County Commissioners match our 10 cents per capita. Motion?
So moved. Second.
Mr. Cornell?
Yes.
Mr. Davis?
Yes.
Mr. McGlynn?
Yes.
That's all for me, thank you.
Very good, sir. Thank you.
That's funny. A little hesitation there, so you think I was gonna
It's tough to read. Anyway. Okay, now, let's on to our zoning department. And Derek, what do we have to vote on now?
Okay, just for the board's information, I emailed you scanned monthly reports for August, September, October, November, and December. I also scanned to you the year-to-date 2018 financial statement. And there's about 10 pages of properties that received letters for various things. And then if you look at it, the last page we put down, I included the biggest construction projects in the township. And just as an FYI to the board, we had two projects. One, the addition to Hollywood Racino for their expansion of their slots, and the Barry Dingle's addition currently under construction. Both were valued at $1.1 million. The actual biggest project in the township this year is a little bit over $2 million. And that is the addition to the Austin Woods Nursing Home on Kirk Road. However, they needed a zoning permit in 2017, about a year before they were actually going to build, because they needed that to apply for a federal grant that they were hoping to get, which apparently they did. So that's kind of, as a 2017 project, that's technically the biggest construction project in terms of valuation in the township this year. I would ask the board to approve a motion under ORC 505.87 and declare the following properties a nuisance: 234 Carnegie Avenue, used tires stored in exposed manner behind the detached garage, and 240 Carnegie Avenue, junk and debris stored in exposed manner on a vacant lot. And just an FYI, we found those because we tore the house down at 237 North Main Street, and obviously when we were there and everything came down, we saw that. And then 5360 West Rockwell Road, a large amount of miscellaneous items, junk and debris, stored in exposed manner throughout the property.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Davis?
Yes.
Mr. Cornell?
Yes.
Mr. McGlynn?
Yes.
And then I would ask the board to approve a motion to find the following motor vehicles meet all the following criteria: 3 model years or older, apparently inoperable, and extensively damaged, including but not limited to any of the following: missing wheels, tires, engine, or transmission, and to declare the following vehicles public nuisance under Ohio Revised Code 505.871 and order the removal of the junk vehicle within 14 days after notice is served to the property owner. Lot number 2, J&P Olds Plat number 1, Silica Road, an inoperable, dismantled, unlicensed vehicle parked in exposed manner within the grass east of the detached garage, and 5360 West Rockwell Road, an inoperable white pickup truck with an expired license plate PIP 2695, parked in exposed manner on the grass at the west side of the dwelling.
Motion, please.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. McGlynn?
Yes.
Mr. Davis?
Yes.
Mr. Cornell?
Yes.
And that's all I have for the board.
Thank you. Moving on to the Park Department, our Superintendent, Todd Schaefer.
There's nothing to add to the report.
On to the Senior Center, Jim.
The only thing I would like to announce is the fact that the board has agreed to increase the dues for new members from out of township to $60 per year. That was 36 will increase to 60, and that's for new members that do not live in the township.
Why don't you give the full report on that, Jim, so that anyone here is doing it? Those people who were already members from outside?
People who are already members up at this point are grandfathered, and it's only new members that are coming in.
Okay. Any questions, anyone? Moving on to the fiscal officer, Laura?
I have my reports and, working on finishing closing out the year. About halfway there, then I have to get to some W-2s, because I know people are itching.
They want to fill out their tax. A motion to accept December reports submitted to the board for review, the fund status, revenue status, and appropriation status.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Davis?
Yes.
Mr. McGlynn?
Yes.
Mr. Graham?
Yes. And we need a motion to approve the official certificate of estimated resources dated 12/31/18 from Mahoney County Auditor.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. McGlynn?
Yes.
Mr. Graham?
Yes.
Mr. Davis?
Yes.
Okay, moving on to new business. Let's see, this first one. Motion to approve reasonable and necessary expenses for the 2019 Ohio Township Association conventions, seminars, and cloud meetings, and state auditors and Bureau of Workmen's Compensation seminars attended by the fiscal officer, trustees, and/or administrator, or their designee.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Davis?
Yes.
Mr. Graham?
Yes.
Mr. McGlynn?
Yes.
For the record, I will be representing the township at the convention and at those meetings. How about, Michael, is there any explanation for the next one?
This is required by the county auditor. They've required it for about the past 4 or 5 years that they need a resolution in order to give us advances on property taxes.
Okay, a motion pursuant to ORC 321.34 to request advances from 2019 real property collections for the 2018 tax year, first half and second half real estate taxes from the Mahoning County Auditor. Motion?
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Graham?
Yes.
Mr. McGlynn?
Yes.
Mr. Davis?
Yes.
We have a motion to approve contracts with legal services as set out in letter of January 2nd, 2019 concerning the 5G technology. Michael?
Okay, we've been talking with Boardman since about a couple summers ago about doing something as far as getting some right-of-way resolutions, because 5G technology is the next technology that's coming our way one of these days. As a matter of fact, a couple summers ago, we had a company come here and want to place 5 poles to support 5G technology in 3 residential areas of the township. These poles were, at that time, I think they were 120 feet plus tall. At the base, they would have been huge. And they wanted to put them in the right-of-way in residential areas, and Darren, pursuant to zoning, denied their application. In September, the FCC came out with a ruling that their FCC is trying to put a rule, if you will, to cover this type of installation nationwide. The state of Ohio has passed a law at the end of last year as it applies to municipalities as to what regulations they can do with these type of things. Then, based on the FCC ruling in September, of course, lawsuits started in different parts of the nation. So this is a big issue nationwide as far as local government wanting to have what say we can have when application is made to go on our right of way, to put this pole and the equipment in the right of way. 5G is primarily data. I've been told, and what I read is, if you really want to have wireless cars driving around your town, you need 5G. That's because it can wireless transfer a lot more data than 4G can right now. So the contract we have is basically for a maximum of $5,000, so it would be a maximum of $2,500 for us. In order for this firm that the Ohio Township Association always refers you to in this area, to put together right-of-way legislation, hopefully by sometime this year you can pass, so that the next time somebody approaches us to go on our right-of-way, we have something in black and white to apply to their application.
The attorney is at...
It's Walter and Haverfield of Cleveland.
Right, okay, very good. All right, motion, any questions, Bud? Okay, motion,
So moved. Second.
Mr. Crandall?
yes.
Mr. Davis?
Yes.
Mr. McLean?
Yes.
Okay, moving on, motion to approve advances from the general fund 1,000 to $1,500 to permissive motor vehicles 2230, that's our lines 2231. $100,000 to the police, their line item is 2081. $25,000 to zoning, line 2181, and $125,000 to communications.
Measure Fund 6002.
A motion for the advancements?
So moved. Second.
Mr. Davis?
Yes.
Mr. McLean?
Yes.
Mr. Crandall?
Yes. Motion to approve the employees' holiday as designated on the agenda for this evening. There is a provision here for Friday after Thanksgiving in lieu of Columbus Day off. There's a provision in our negotiations with that. Any objections? If not, may I have a motion?
So moved. Second.
Mr. Crandall?
Yes.
Mr. Davis?
Yes.
Mr. McLean?
Yes.
And the irony of every governmental agency has one of the biggest things that they have to do.
It's an election year, be careful.
I know.
Be careful about this.
In schools, you always deal with who's gonna get selected as the cheerleaders. And that's the biggest thing in the schools to go on. Here in the township, it is the date and time set for Halloween. And I'm not kidding you, it is a problem. A motion to set the date and time of Halloween as Thursday, October 31st, which happens to be Halloween, from 5:30 to 7:30 p.m.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. McLean?
Yes.
Mr. Davis?
Yes.
Mr. Crandall?
Yes.
Poor Justin back there. That's the exciting news of the meeting.
That's it, boy.
Wait till your editors get back. What did they decide? We set the times for Halloween.
As we always do, we have a period of public response in two ways. We know that we are being televised by Austintown Community Television, but if there is anyone here who would like to speak to the Board of Trustees, not on camera, may I see your hands? Seeing none, is there anyone here who would like to speak to the board on camera? Okay, let's move up this way, Sam, and then Eric.
Sam Squatter, 4492 Ball Road. Basically, all I'm here to do is thank the Austintown Trustees and the department heads for all their support this year, not only to the American Legion Post 301 and the community, but also Mahoney Valley 911 Memorial on behalf of Mr. Common. And we're going to be starting up again this year pretty soon. It's to start it all over again, but thank you very much for all your help all year.
Sam, thank you, and on behalf of our board here, we thank you and a number of other people who in Austintown work very hard for veterans. So we thank you. Eric?
Eric Newton, 5741 Northwest Boulevard. Well, this question isn't from me, from my neighbor. Since I jumped out of the plane with the trustee, I'm important now. So the question is on the stop signs, there's a thin red piece that goes down on the post. They want to know why all the stop signs don't have that. Because it's easier to see a stop sign, they said.
Are you talking about the red on the post?
On the
On the
post.
post.
Is that expensive, or is there a reason why all of them don't have it? Or I don't know.
Well, that's my road department.
I think most of the ones you're seeing are probably on the state and county right-of-ways.
There's some on Northwest.
Right, that's
county.
That's county.
For the most part, it's county. At the west end is township.
Well, they seem to like it.
There's no doubt about it. It's something we'll have to look at adding to our stop signs.
Is it?
I haven't really looked at a cost for it.
Is it painted? Or is it tape?
It's reflective tape, yes.
Reflective tape, you can see it from a distance.
Yeah.
I agree with my neighbor, but I never thought about it. But I guess it's worth thinking about. They say it'll
It's
save
easier to
lives,
see.
according to the neighbor. I don't know how much she knows about it. And that's all I have to say.
Thank you, Eric.
So I should tell them that you're gonna look into it?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
We had a project one time, we were trying to paint all the posts that have the street names on because they were deteriorating. And the National Honor Society came through with that, and that was their project. Maybe we can see if we could get some organization to sponsor that and put the tape in. Okay, very good. All right, now it's time for remarks from the board members itself. We'll start off by, as Jim says, our favorite fiscal officer, considering she's our only fiscal officer. Laura, what do you have going?
I don't have anything else, just been working on the end of year.
Sir, Doug, how about you?
You know, it's like saying it's your favorite wife, but it's your only wife. You don't care why you say that.
So I can be very gentle.
Or your favorite brother-in-law or something like that. You just never know how that comes out from that standpoint. I'd like to thank Jim for all of his service as chairperson. He did a great job with that. And it was very good as far as getting things going and providing good mentorship and leadership. And thanks for everything you've done. Also, I'd like to thank Sam for all he has done, and he's everywhere. There's not a place if it's a meeting for veterans, Sam's there. And again, thank you for all you do, Sam, because you did a great job with that. If it weren't for you, we wouldn't have a lot of things going on around here. I know it's a group effort, but
Not about you.
I know. And that's what's the big thing about it. It's not about you. It's about what doing stuff for the community, and those are the most important things from that standpoint. And I appreciate all you've done. Also, I'd like to wish all of the wrestlers next week and have good luck. That's coming up. And all of our winter sports teams. And baseball is about 2.5 weeks away. So spring sports will be starting up. And good luck to all of the spring sports teams as we get into next season.
Very good. James?
Well, I just first want to welcome everybody back and say Happy New Year. Glad to have everybody back for 2019. One of the exciting things that has already happened, it happened on January the 1st, is that the road, formerly known as Interstate Boulevard, is now officially Patriot Way. So if you're looking for a street in Austintown by the name of Patriot Way and you're not quite sure where it is the old Interstate Boulevard that Quaker Steak and Lube is on. A group of veterans worked on that. Sam, I believe you're part of that as well. With Leo Conley, Ken Jackubek, and it was an undertaking, but I especially just wanted to take a moment and thank the businesses in that corridor, because for them, that came at an expense. You know, the veterans that served and those that gave their lives, they paid the ultimate price, but from the standpoint that it did come at an expense to them, when they were asked, would you change the name or, change your letterheads, change your envelopes? Everything that you have everything they had to have had to be changed. From websites, you name it, if it had their address on it, it had to be changed, and that comes at an expense. And they very easily could have said no, but I can tell you there was a 100% support from all businesses on Independent, or on Patriot Way, on Interstate Boulevard. So thank you to those business owners for recognizing the veterans for what they do. So I just want to say thanks to them, and I'm just looking forward to a great 2019 here in Austintown Township.
Thank you. Okay, if I may, I'll start off right away. James, thank you so very much for your service as the chairman. An excellent job. I hope I can continue that. It's nice to have the student teach the teacher, so that's good. I'm going to make this announcement so everyone understands something. As a chairman, the only difference between me and these two individuals and Laura is the fact that I'm going to run a meeting. Each of us have the same power. Being the chairman of the trustees board simply says that I'm going to run the meeting. That's it. It's a 2-to-1 or 3-0 vote if anything gets passed and so on. So under no circumstances should anyone think that this position has any more power than the positions of those individuals that ran and were elected or appointed to the position. So I thank you for that. I'm going to get into one other thing, is we've had some very bad wind and so on in this neighborhood. For those of you who have lived in the township all of your lives, you understand this. What happens though to a lot of the people here are the changing rules in trees on property falling down on their neighbor's property and so on. A few years ago, the insurance companies got together about things like this. If there is a tree that your neighbor has and the limbs come over your property, it is your right to cut them if you want to. But if they fall on you, not because they were a bad tree, but because of wind and other things of that sort, there is no provision that you can tell your neighbor they have to pay for this. The fact of the matter is, it's two insurance companies. Now, if you could prove that the gentleman or the lady were told that their tree is making my property in jeopardy and so on, then it's a civil matter and it takes individuals back and forth. The reason I'm bringing this up to you, this very nice gentleman has called me. Each of us get these calls constantly, especially when we have that wind problem. The township is not responsible for anything except when it comes on our right-of-way and it's a safety problem. We will clean the streets, we will clean the sidewalks of those particular things, but we're not going to go onto people's property and chop down their tree and then remove it. That is not in the state permission to the township. So understand that, so that you understand that in townships there's some strange things that we are not allowed to do. Anyway, now, Jim would probably knows more about this than I do. I do not know this young lady, but once again we have a new person coming to the Racino. The Racino has been a very, very good neighbor for Austintown. They have taken care of themselves. They have not been a big problem for the police, nor have they been a big problem at all for the fire or for our zoning. They have been extremely cooperative, and they have been very nice in their donations to the activities that go on in Austintown. We were lucky enough to have a gentleman started off the first time, because it started before they had a general manager. And then Mike Galley, outstanding young man, took over, and he became very close with us and so on. Now he is down taking care of the properties down south. The young man that really we have enjoyed, but just for a short time, Anthony Fabiel is now moving over to the Meadows, and it's funny because the person who was the general manager of the Meadows is now coming here. A young lady, her name is Ellie Everett Evangelista, and we're looking forward to meeting her, and we're looking forward to working with the Racino. They have been a nice group of people, they really have. I want to congratulate our governor, being sworn in, the new governor, Governor Mike DeWine. I was lucky enough to know Mr. DeWine, I know him well. I also want to congratulate the Speaker of the House, Larry Householder, and he was the Speaker of the House when I was down as a state rep. The important thing is I can call those people, and the people here have talked to those individuals, and we're asking him desperately now to look at the budget for the 2019 year and see if it's at all possible, if not giving us back the money that they took for the rainy day fund, to cut the rainy day fund out so that we can get back the 1.9 million it costs us every year for our budget. And that would be an outstanding situation for both of those gentlemen to do. We're looking forward to a great 2019 for Austintown and for the Mahoning Valley. Unfortunately, we will, as a group, be adding our support for General Motors to do something with the plant up there, because a great majority of the people who work there are residents of Austintown. So anybody that has any good ideas as to what we can and can't do, will be open to any advice that we can get.
Mr. Chairman, if I
Yes,
may,
please.
I forgot to mention, for those in attendance and the media here, March the 2nd, the Austintown Junior Women's League will be hosting their annual Taste of Austintown. It will take place at Immaculate Heart of Mary Church, and the tickets are on sale now. You can get those for $30 from any Austintown Junior Women's League member. That sells out very quickly, so make sure you get your tickets. It is a great opportunity to taste the food that many of the businesses here in Austintown make. Every time somebody says we need a steakhouse or we need a Italian restaurant, I say we have that in Austintown. It's just locally owned businesses, and the food is so phenomenal. It's well worth the $30 to get in. With that being said, the following weekend, on March the 9th, the Austintown Rotary will hold their annual reverse raffle. The tickets are $150. Those can be purchased from any Austintown Rotary member. They meet on every Friday, am I correct in saying? Every Friday at the Austin Manor. By all means, go down there and join the Rotary if you'd like, or just see a Rotary member for your ticket to that event. That will also be held at Immaculate Heart of Mary, catered by Rachel's. So you get a great meal, a great evening, and a chance to win a couple $1,000s while you're at it. And what is so nice about both of those organizations is that they work so hard, and the money that they raise directly goes back and it impacts the children here in Austintown. Rotary has a scholarship fund that they donate through the high school, as well as the Junior Women's League. The Junior Women's League also helps with the Christmas tree lighting, with providing cookies for the kids, and so many other projects throughout the year. But these are their big fundraisers, and that's how they're able to do the other projects they do to help our community throughout the year. So please support them at those two events. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Sorry about that.
No problem. Any other comments? All right, we are going to have a zoning public hearing at 7 o'clock. In the process, I am going to ask for motion to recess to executive session for the following: to consider the appointment, employment, discipline, or compensation of public employees, or to be preparing for conducting or reviewing negotiations or bargaining issues. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Davis?
Yes.
Mr. Carino?
Yes.
Mr. McCarthy?
We will adjourn. We will be back at 7 o'clock out here for a zoning hearing.
in association with Austintown Local Schools and Austintown Township.